personal and professional. So the first thing I would do is not do it the way I did it, is, try to do something on the side, have additional tax advantages, and whatever it is, match your existing corporate income if you're in that situation. And then, don't you think you have a better choice at that point, more intelligent choice?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, I know many of the readers and listeners, this is something that they face is, how do they overcome the fear which arises when they think about following their passions or pursuing their dreams. And there's no guarantee of financial support when you make those types of decisions. Could you explain a little bit, how you've dealt with that issue and, what advice could you give to the listeners who are facing that same dilemma?
Well, the first thing I'll say, and I'm going to be frankly, candid and brutally honest right now, and transparent, which we'll talk about, I think, in a little bit. But anyone listening, if you're in a corporate environment, you have no guarantee. In fact, you have less of a guarantee than if you were an entrepreneur working on your own. Their history in the last 5 years is littered with examples of people who have lost pensions, and many people on the call right now may have been one of those people. I didn't have that fear. Because I just felt like every day may have been my last in a corporate environment. So the easiest way to overcome the fear is utilizing 5 principles that I have followed. And these aren't written anywhere. These are just private principles I've led. They're as immutable as gravity. I mean, if I were to drop a pencil right now, it would drop and it would hit the ground. If I dropped it again, it would hit the ground, and it's very predictable because gravity is predictable. These principles, the 5, and if you have a pen, just grab your pen right now if you're listening. Just write these down. They work for me. And I think it's possible to make your annual income into a monthly. I don't know if it's possible to make it into an hourly, but definitely into a monthly income if you follow these principles, because they've worked for me and many of my students. The first, and this is the easiest one to get involved with, the first principle is apprenticeship. Ross Perot talks about this. If you want to, live into a type of business, if you want to start a business, don't start one. Become an apprentice. In fact, don't buy a franchise. Work in one. Work as the person who is sweeping the floors, or work in the mailroom. I mean, I remember when I was reading about Jack Welch's story. I mean, he started at General Electric in the mailroom. And so become an apprentice and find out how the company works. You'll find out more at an apprentice level, working for free, than if you were paid. Because when you're paid, for some reason things are withheld, by the higher ups of the people running the company. So the first principle is apprenticeship.
Yeah, I definitely second that, Alex.
I mean, you came into customer service, right?
Yes, absolutely. Working, with Michael Masterson and Will Bonner, and luckily it was a paid apprenticeship, but I definitely, looking back on it, I would have done it for, practically nothing.
There's no better way to learn about a client's hidden desires or even fears, toward any type of product or service than to work at customer service, because, you're in the trenches. I always ask, when I used to do consulting, the first thing I did is I never talked to the CEO or the sales force. I went straight to the call center. I would ask them, what are the 5 most frequently asked questions you get? Mm-hmm. And the C and VP level would be shocked at some of the questions they would get. So apprenticeship is number 1. Number 2 principle, unique ability. You have to find your unique ability. This is what one of my mentors, Dan Sullivan, has taught me. And unique ability is something that is absolutely unique to you. I think Janet and Chris talk about unique gifts. Unique ability is passion plus talent. And it's interesting because talent is what you do. Passion is why you do it, right? So if you got to find your unique ability. What makes you unique in your ability to do things? What could you do all day long and still keep doing it? For me, it's training. I could do it for hours. I could do it and lose sleep. And I've figured out a way to monetize it. So finding out your unique ability is the second of the 5 principles. Here's the third, and this is kind of funny. We talked about this when we were preparing for this call, but proclaim prudently. Proclaim prudently. When someone is about to launch into a new career or into a passion, my experience, and I'm guilty of this, and forgive me for stating this if this is the first time you're hearing me say this, but it is what it is. I vomit on the people about my passion. It's like, here's all of it. Take it, right?
Yeah.
People don't want that. They don't want to be vomited on. You know, it's like they say, hey, how's it going? Oh my God, I'm an amazing trainer. I just started. How much are you making? Nothing. I just started. But I just read this great book and this course, and I'm going to be just like such and such. You know, I hear that a lot, especially in the beginning stages, and then all of a sudden, boom, the passion is extinguished. It's not the other people's fault, you know? So proclaim prudently. Just give little bite-sized chunks. That's like a defense mechanism. Don't talk about it. I found that energy, the spiritual energy that gets pent up, you know, I don't want to let it go until I'm really, really ready. I mean, Ross Perot used to say that the key to marketing is ready, aim, fire, 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 fire. It's not ready, fire, aim. You know?
Yeah, absolutely.
And proclaiming prudently is key. And so I love the alliteration, and it's one of the principles. So apprenticeship, find your unique ability, proclaim what that is prudently. Okay? The fourth principle is going pro. And this is key. If you know what your passion is, there's a part of that passion that can at least make $1. If everyone could envision right now the distance, like just in YouTube passion, if you can envision like a horizontal line across your paper. In fact, if anyone has a sheet of paper, just draw a horizontal line, and maybe it's 6 or 7 inches, you know, from one end of the paper to the other, and you draw a little dot on the very left-hand side, and then go all the way to the end and draw a dot on that side. So you have 2 dots on each end. And then go about half an inch to the left of the dot on the very right. So go from left to the dot you just drew. There's 3 dots now, the one on the very left, and then one over about 6.5 inches, and then another one about